What's up, guys? I am basically in my first stop heading south. In this video, you're going to see me focus on some specific things throughout the week. You too, man. Take it easy. So my first goal this week is to get everything situated with my van, basically just plumbing at this point. I wanna ride and run a lot of trails. I really want to get another client by the end of the month, so I need to send a lot of emails, and I'm just gonna create a lot of content, photography and video. Slaughter Pen Trail was really cool. It kind of reminded me of Marquette County in Michigan. You could tell that the designer of the trail really knew what he or she was doing. After I did the trail, I headed out to the Ozark mountain region, and that was a very interesting experience. At first, it was great because I saw this huge field of elk. This was actually my first time seeing elk, so it was really cool, and I got to speak with a lot of people who were also taking pictures of the elk. But afterwards, I had about 50 miles of driving through the mountains, and I had some weird encounters with some of the people living in the area. And some guy actually pulled out a shotgun because I was filming the surrounding area by his house. So I decided to head out of the Ozarks a little bit faster than I expected to. So after the Ozarks, I headed out to Oklahoma City and stopped by chance in this really, really cool coffee shop that also had a lot of plants. Earlier I mentioned like one of my concerns right now in life is just the monthly income I have. So I'm really trying to focus on getting a lot of emails out and staying on top of management for my clients. So that's what I focused on while I was heading through OKC. It's like 3 o'clock and I'm on my way to New Mexico. Gonna probably spend the night in New Mexico, but I'm right now pretty close to Texas. I thought maybe talk a little bit right now about what my eating habits are like. So I'd say I'm a pretty healthy eater. I try to like mainly follow the paleo diet, but like right now, I have some leftover turkey. I threw some of these just kettle chips, jalapeno in there to add some flavor. Sometimes I struggle with decisions like that just because, you know, like if I was a perfect eater, I probably wouldn't be eating like brand name kettle chips. And I would try to resist a lot of my temptations of just snacking. But what I found over the past few years is not doing like just one cheat day, but being a little bit more relaxed and just allowing myself to have some snacks here and there. And along with, as long as I'm getting enough exercise, I'm never really seeing any physical implications of that snacking. And I also feel a little bit more relaxed knowing that, like, for instance, right now I don't have to have like a very lack of flavor, unflavorful turkey, and rather than that, I can have like a bit more flavorful meal. So I think like throughout these videos, you'll see me kind of doing that type of routine, like trying to eat healthy most of the time, but allowing myself to relax and have snacks. And I love beer, so definitely have a lot of beer. Northwest Texas was really cool. I mean, all I can really say is the people were super friendly. So back to my work grind. Basically in New Mexico, this was Roswell. I really sent out a lot of emails again and drank a lot of coffee. I was almost to White Sands National Monument when I basically ran out of diesel. Luckily, I got to run into this awesome bull and some nice people who kind of explained that I would have to call insurance, but I got to hang around the area and just drank some beer and played guitar. What's that?
The icon went away.
Did it? Oh, nice. And once the mechanic came, he also helped me understand a little bit more about the importance of my engine coolant. So it was really, I guess, like a blessing in disguise.
Was it like a... What was it originally?
So originally it was just like a regular Sprinter, but they bought it and made it into an ambulance.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like an ambulance.
Yeah. So outside of White Sands National Monument, I finally got to some BLM public land area, and this is where I met a lot of really cool people. One specific group I want to focus on is the cycling family. So this is a family from the Netherlands who has been traveling on their bikes for the past 13 months from South America up to BC and down through the States. And they were just so positive and showed no signs of annoyance from their travel. And the kids were so young, but clearly so happy. And I'm going to speak more about my thoughts on this type of lifestyle choice in my reflection section. But yeah, then I headed into White Sands for the next 2 days. So over the next 2 days at White Sands, I really focused on my fitness. So I did a lot of weight training the first day and some running. And then at night, I did some videography and photography. And then the second day, I did biking just through the loop in the area on the road. And I got to run into another couple who did a van conversion, and we talked for a while, which was cool. And then finished off the evening meeting another solo traveler named Volkan.
Those places, like, it'll be nice to go with a friend, but you meet some cool people on the way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's solo people traveling too as well, so.
Yeah. And we hung out and did some videography and photography. And then I headed out the next morning to get to Tucson area, which is where I will finish the week off. And I wanted to talk to you guys now about
what I decided would be the reflections portion of this week. And that topic is struggle. I think struggle really came to the forefront of my mind as a topic for reflections when I met the cycling family outside of White Sands National Monument. And I say that because, I mean, they have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old who are, spending 6 hours a day biking on the side of highways mainly, and then sleeping in tents outside every night. And they have 2 parents who clearly, aren't living the most luxurious lives and aren't comfortable in the Western sense of living. But just speaking to them for the short period that I did, it was obvious that they were so fulfilled with what they were doing in life. And even Peter, who I spoke to originally, said that when he married his wife and they decided to have kids, they only thought about it briefly and decided to continue biking as a family. And I think that just shows that even like as a family, having some sort of difficult challenge always each day to have your mindset on and to overcome can really create a certain amount of happiness and purpose that is important. And I often get struggle and happiness from athletic things like mountain biking. I did a really, really intense 10-hour race in the UP that literally was the hardest thing I've ever done physically in my life. But afterwards, I legitimately I felt more proud and happy than I ever had from almost anything. So that, and along with other things, like simple things like taking cold showers, have made me realize that without struggle, you're not really participating in life in the game way that it is, if that makes sense. I think if you always are comfortable, then you're not ever going to be getting happier in life. And I think, like I was alluding to earlier, if you're living a really comfortable life without even realizing it, I think it's possible that you could get really unhappy because everything just stays the same. And I really do believe that life is a game, and it can be really fucked up sometimes, but you have to view it as a game, and you have to challenge yourself to reach different parts of who you are and different parts of that game. So yeah, that's kind of what's been on my mind this week. I will have another video out at the end of next week. My plan right now is to probably stay in Tucson for a bit because there's a lot of beautiful areas and it's really warm. And then I'm going to decide if I want to go out west in the States or if I want to go down to Mexico. So thanks for watching this, and I'll talk to you soon.